And thank you to those who have been waiting patiently for this to start. And of course, this is our special group of patrons only. So it is absolutely splendid to be with you. You might see I'm looking a little bit tired at the moment. Them and I have been scuttling around and hustling, basically. We got a call over the weekend for a British film crew that want to come shoot some very, very fancy thing and whatnot, and they wanted to come now, as in arriving on Saturday this week, and they wanted us to get equipment from all sorts of equipment, like over $200,000 of equipment. They wanted this camera, that lens, and whatnot, and we've basically been, in the industry, you call it fixing. Hi, Patty. So I have literally had my phone attached to my ear, and it's so hot here that my phone gets too hot to talk on. Hi, Lauren. So I have these, and I've literally, even in the supermarket, going to get dinner and stuff, I've had this attached to my face from Monday to now, like till 11 o'clock at night, trying to organize everything for the British film crew that is supposed to be on their way. And we're getting final confirmation, so my phone is still sitting next to me within the next hour or two. And we're hoping that they do choose to use us, because it's a nice job. Obviously, in the in the future, I would prefer a little bit more time to organize, but we've managed to organize them accommodation, game drive vehicles, transfers, and access, and filming permits, and visas, and a lot of time on the phone and a lot of emails. And of course, in between all of that, as you saw, we managed to go fix the leaf spring on the Badger. On those photos that we had there. So thank you for the well wishes. So and I love these patron chats, because I get to chat to you guys, and it's not so hustle bustle as those big live chats. So I mean, any of you guys who have any questions that you would like to ask, I'm going to try. It's not going to be possible this weekend, because we're going to be working flat out with this British crew. Kurt, 3mm, a measly 3mm, that's all. And it is still beastly hot. VM, what is this machine called?
What's called?
It's an infrared thermometer. Girl geologist, I hope so too. We're not getting as well compensated as some of the sort of bigger fixing crews would do, but we have taken a bit of a hello Betty in Houston, a less of a cut to try ensure. Hello Mary J, welcome. And try and ensure we get repeat business from them. Now, of course, fixing is not something that we would love to do, but it is a necessity in a very small business. It's quite good income. So basically, VM, myself, and Lucky are going to be organizers for this weekend. They bring their own. Hello, Holly. Cameraman. We've just had to hire a whole bunch of equipment from overseas. Well, we're waiting still to find out if not from overseas, from Cape Town. Yes, Cookie, the Badger is fixed. Hi, Stacy. Oh, so this is VM's infrared thermometer, and you might see there's a little bit of a glow on my forehead. And I can tell you now, as you say, it's 7 o'clock in the evening. You can see it's pitch black out here. And if I put the thermometer up to the sky, there we go. I don't know if you guys can read that. If I go further back, maybe, or closer. No, definitely not closer. But it says 31 degrees Celsius. And that is at 7 o'clock. There we go. Oh no. There you go. It's inverted, but 30. Too bright. Yes. Sorry, Mary. I'm trying here. Betty the Badger is not always getting major repairs. This is the first major repair we've done on the Badger. The big expense we have spent on the Badger recently is tires. 48 Fahrenheit. Yeah, Cookie. Patty, it's not for public view. It's for some app or something. So we don't mind getting no content as long as we get some cash in hand. 40 Fahrenheit. VM, can you tell me what 40 degrees Fahrenheit is?
It's got a switch on. You can make it to Fahrenheit.
Oh, I can make it to Fahrenheit. Oh, there we go. Okay. So it is 88.8 degrees Fahrenheit here at 7:01 or 7:02 or 7:05 in the evening. There we go, mid 80s in Arizona. That's pretty much what we are at the moment, but we are at 7 o'clock in the evening. So it is quite warm. Oh, my dog is chasing a jojo. Humidity, I can actually tell you the exact humidity. My dad, being the type of man that he has installed his own weather station. So, and it updates hourly. Humidity is at 45%. So not too bad, but still quite warm. We've got a really lovely. Sorry, my phone's pinging. I'm just waiting for the stuff. We've got a really lovely little video that. So 5 degrees C. Yes, no, that's way too cold. We don't even ever get to that. I don't like being cold. A video that happened right here under this roof that we will be hopefully sharing at some point. So we have little bush babies that live right above me, and one of their babies fell out, and I managed to get there before our lovely hound got there, and we put it back up, and Mom came and rescued it. So that is sorry, Mary. And so that's a really cool little video that we're putting up at some point. Oh no, I don't want. Oh, sorry, it was a question from Mary about the traditional snowstorms. Actually, I think I can show you I took a little picture, and I don't know if this is going to work. But maybe you'll be able to see it. Actually, you know what? It's going to be funny. So what I'll do is I'll put a picture of the bush baby on Patreon, the one we rescued, and then obviously the video will come later. So I think that's much easier, so everyone can see it nicely. Because if I try to hold the phone up, yes, I wondered it was just going to be too bright. So there we go. I'll do it right now while I'm trying to rescued bush baby. Bush baby. Baby. And I'll pop that picture up there. Oh, Mary working on Thanksgiving. Sorry for that. Hi, Mimi. Welcome. As I said, guys, if you guys have got any specific questions that you would like to put through, this is the time. You have my undivided attention. There we go. Lots of food at Thanksgiving work. That sounds good. Of course, we don't celebrate Thanksgiving out here in Africa. Plus time and a half. That's always a bonus. Yes. What's time and a half, Liam? Do you remember what time and a half is? VM doesn't know what time and a half is. Cookie, the ankle's just wrapped when I'm working where it's dirty and stuff. Obviously, there's still a bit of a wound where they took the stuff out. So I just need to keep it clean, basically, to ensure I don't get an infection through there. So when I'm working on very dirty stuff and stuff like that, I tend to wrap it. Betty, we saw Bucket BB a few days ago. Patty, there we go, working for her time and a half. We saw Bucket and BB a few days ago. As I said, unfortunately, this week we actually haven't been out because we've been trying to organize this shoot with this British film company, as well as we had to fix the springs on the Badger. We're hoping not hoping, the Badger's all fixed, but if everything goes according to plan and I get my confirmations tonight and I can pay my suppliers, Kurt, no, the doctor's not prescribed me not to wear flip flops. I was actually wearing, I think the closest thing in the US would be Tevas or something like that when my injury happened. I've pretty much always worn flip flops when I've had the option. Wait, sorry, I missed that. Mimi, maybe not in December, maybe a little bit later in the year. Mary, you might see Jamie on one or two of these chats, but she's busy trying to catch up with a huge amount of work in terms of maths and science that she hasn't done in many years. So she's busy basically hitting the books at the moment to catch up. The Cheetah Cubs, as far as we know, there are still 3, but we haven't, as I said, we haven't been out this week yet. I can definitely talk, Stacey, about Jamie's new venture. Jamie is going to be going back to university. She is going to be studying a BSc Agric, and with the hopes of going into veterinary either at halfway through first year or the beginning of second year. So there are only 150 spots in the veterinary course in South Africa. And strangely enough, there are only 2 veterinary schools. Cookie, I have not got a surprise delivery yet. And there are only 2 veterinary schools in Africa. One in South Africa, which Jamie is hoping to go to, and one in Egypt, in Cairo. Those are the only 2 veterinary universities in the whole of Africa. So that is that. So she's going to be hoping that, and they have about a 50 to 60% dropout rate in first year. So out of that 150 people, less than 100, less than 80 make it through into second year. And the people who were denied from the applications have the opportunity to try get in either halfway through first year if you're in the top 2 or 3. Yes, Betty, I know there's a lot of good schools in the US, but then Jamie wouldn't be close to me. Come to Cornell. Yes, but then yes, I would never see Jamie if she was in the US. I'm going to see her little enough as it is, and we're living in the same country. So yes, okay, I've finished. I remember what I was doing while I was trying to read at the same time. Exactly, veterinary is one of the hardest things to get into anywhere in the world, and okay, there we go. For those patrons, there we go. Patrons only can see this post. I've uploaded the picture of that tiny little bush baby we saved that was in my hand, so you can actually see how tiny it was. Exactly, and it's Jamie's dream, Patty. So she's supported me in following my dreams, and it would be incredibly unfair if I didn't support her in doing the same. So we're very excited, obviously. New challenges for us as a couple, but nothing we can't get over. Okay. Oh, there was a question about how many more episodes of Tale of Two Mothers for this year. Via, you want to weigh into this one?
What's that?
So I want to know how many episodes of Tale of Two Mothers left for this year. One.
Yes.
One. And a Christmas special.
Christmas special. Yeah.
But we're not sure what the Christmas special is yet.
But it's going to be unrelated to.
It's going to be unrelated to Tale of Two Mothers. It's actually almost going to be like a mini break for Veer, myself, Lucky, and we might drag Jamie along as well. See, there we go. Everyone's saying hi, VM. And we've got really, really cool plans for the next year, which will, and Tale of Two Mothers will continue next year. So even though we only are doing one, we will be filming over December and whatnot. Well, I will be for some of it. VM will be filming for half of it. It's just so that we can actually manage our workflow a little bit better, and we're not sort of panicking every weekend or every second weekend when we have to get this out. We will actually want to be like a couple of weekends in advance. Nice shirt, VM. There we go. All the big cats. Is it all only big cats?
Yeah, it's got cheetah, leopard,
and a tree.
A tree, yeah.
And a tree. And another tree.
Maybe a mountain. I don't know what it is.
I'm not sure what that is. Yes. Yeah. So only one more and a Christmas special. Christmas special will be sort of maybe Top Gear-ish type thing, a road trip, and we'll film it and edit it, and we're not sure yet. So we're figuring that out, but it'll be very, very exciting, and that'll be our last episode for the year. Will be the Christmas special, and I've now been training Lucky on how to make Teespring t-shirts and stuff like that. So the Christmas stuff will be coming out in the next 2 weeks. As I say, this last week has been, there we go, Mars has seen the bush baby. Yes, so it fell out of the thatch, and we will put a video up of Mom rescuing it. So actually, let's see if I can, you'll see when VM puts out the video, eventually, that I had to climb up on the step ladder and put the bush baby up. Mom was getting very panicky above us, and then she came and rescued it. So we have a little family of bush babies. Last year we had 4 babies. This year I know there's 3, but there could be a few more. Oh, puppy, what you doing? Do you want to come say hello? Chloe, come say hello, baby. Come here. No, we're chasing insects. Mary J, you see the picture on Patreon? It's on Patreon. I just uploaded it. The rescued bush baby. Oh no, what have you seen? My darling dog woke me up at 3:30, 4:45 this morning. She was very, very upset, and there was a black-backed jackal outside my window, and she didn't like the jackal being close. She was growling and barking at it, and she doesn't even bark that much normally, but she was very upset, and she wouldn't let me go back to sleep because she kept growling at the jackal that was outside. Go, come, baby. Come here. Come. Sit. I'm just going to take my mic off. Sit. She's very good. Sit. Sit, Chloe. Good girl. Good girl. Come say hello to all the people. Come say hello to all the people. Okay. Let's see if she wants to be friendly today. Oh, just 1 second. She's heard something, which might be the bush babies. Say hi. Is your dad manhandling you again? Yes, no, that's not for you. That's Dad's microphone. You can't have that. Okay, just sit. Let Dad put his microphone on. No, it's not for you to chew. Say hi, everyone. Is that you? Anyway, there's that. She is getting big. She's nearly an adult. And shortly she's going to have to go off to the vet because we don't want any puppies. Oh. Should we show the people how we talk? Oh. 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 He's a very talky puppy. He's a very talky puppy. She's fine as long as you give her a finger, and then she thinks she's winning the fight. See, here we go. Grips your hands. Are you winning, baby? Oh, no, we're giving kisses now. No, I don't want kisses. No, I don't want kisses. Chloe, I don't want the kisses. Let's fight. I prefer fighting to kisses. Okay, you go chase bugs. Let me finish talking to our lovely patrons. Yeah, she's very busy. Yeah, she's very fierce. We're busy trying to train her not to bark at warthogs. So she's fine unless the warthogs decide to sleep next to the fence. Then she gets very upset. Bonnie, what happened to those two cheetah cubs? I mean, it's all speculation. She was in an area where a male leopard called Shavati was hanging out. There's also a big number of baboons in that area. We can't say for certain, unfortunately. I'm pretty certain it wasn't the lions. The lions were not close by at all from that area. Hi, Stitch Cats. Welcome. So the lions weren't close at all to that area. So I don't know. It could have been leopard. Could have been. And as I say, this is. It could have been baboons, but my vote would have been leopard. Betty, the Bush Baby's mom would have come to get it if I hadn't. However, the reason I did is because I have a Jack Russell. And that might have proved problematic for the baby and mom. Although I'm still teaching Chloe not to bite everything she sees, but she is still a puppy, so it is quite difficult. Yes, Cookie, Lucky is going to be staying on. We're very happy. We've managed to make a plan to keep Lucky on, and a big thanks to Marcy. Leopard Lady, she's been instrumental in us being able to keep Lucky on. So we're going to keep Lucky on, and we're hoping that we're going to get some government funding next year, and hopefully we can employ more than just Lucky. Mary, Lucky was an intern with no real field experience in wildlife filmmaking. He worked as a photojournalist for a little newspaper, stuff like that. And he has proven himself above and beyond. That man is an absolute star. And we really want to keep him. So we've made a plan that we will keep him going forward. And unless a better opportunity for him arises, and then I would never ever stop someone going off to a better opportunity where they might be able to earn more. He's got a young family. His son is 4 years old, and so I would feel horrible if I tried to stop him going anywhere. But we're going to keep Lucky on, and then if our government grants come in, we will try to promote editors, etc., with a bit more experience, because we need someone with a bit more experience. And again, rather than taking from the traditional sort of white privilege, is wrong word exactly, but from the more privileged people in South Africa, we would love to rather develop the local communities that surround us, and create job opportunities that way. And that's why we're going so slowly and steadily. We don't want to just rush into things. And in my experience, if you rush into things, you tend to make mistakes. And so we're doing everything slowly, properly, and the right way, and making sure we get all the permits correct, and everyone is paid properly and paid on time, and all that type of stuff. Except Van and I, we don't know what being paid is anymore. We just work. I'm of course joking. We are very, very grateful for your contributions. They've made a massive difference. Marcy dedicates a certain amount of money, particularly to Lucky, but we would not have been able to keep on doing what we do if we didn't have you guys as patrons. So we're hoping that we're on the cusp of sort of getting to the stage where things will be a little bit easier financially, but till then we will keep soldiering on. And apparently we're big in Brazil at the moment. I don't know if you guys have seen that episode 4, Tale of Two Mothers, is suddenly nearly on 100,000 views on YouTube, and 70% men, and they're mostly from Brazil. And I do not know how that happened. We've looked at the analytics. It's just one of those strange things that maybe a Brazilian soccer player shared it. or we have no idea why we are suddenly. Don't bark. That's naughty. Oh. So we're not sure how or why that happened, but it did, and there we go, Mary J. Maybe your Brazilian guide shared it. I hope so, because suddenly there's a lot of men in Brazil watching PaintedDog.tv, and we were still waiting for the full analytics on it and stuff like that. But it doesn't look like they watch for too long. They watch for about 4 minutes, and then I think they find us a bit boring, and they move on. But anyway, we got a was that message from YouTube, Xavier? Well done. This video is performing 5,600% better than any of your other videos ever released. Go on, stop barking, you terrorist. Come back here. Good girl. Yeah. Betty, do we have the thought of bringing in college interns from the US the way Safari Live did? Am I going to be naughty or am I going to be tactful? Honest. The college interns we got from Safari Live got from the US had influential parents or what stuff like that. So probably not. We just don't have the capacity, the beds and stuff like that. But no, the interns from the Safari Live got from the US had important parents, all favored by a lecturer or stuff like that. So yeah, no, we will not be doing that. So, as I said, Vim and I have discussed at length having a sort of a film school that will take students from all over the world one day, and they would pay, and their payment would ensure that we could take 2 or 3 kids from the local community. See, Patty, that's what I'm saying. There is ways that if we ran a film school where people would pay, and then we could take kids from the local community, and the people paying would enable us to fund the training of people from the local community. But again, that is for us is probably a long way off. We've got lots of plans and dreams, but we can till then we will just soldier on. There we go, as Kurt was saying. So like if we did go to the stage of taking interns but it would be a course, probably a 3-month course, where we would do a film school, and the international students would pay that we could have 2 or 3 kids from the local community without them having any costs whatsoever. That's the one way to work it, and of course the people from international could have a wonderful experience. But as I said, we don't have the capacity to do that at the moment. But one day we hope to do that. As I said, we want to build this business slowly and the right way, so it can sort of keep going and grow, and who knows what can happen. Yes, Mars, of course, not everyone in the US has cash. We understand that. But if you go into the local communities here, the employment rate, unemployment rate for South Africa is closing on 30%. So, and that is particularly in the youth. So you've got people running around with university degrees and stuff from the local communities and stuff, and there's just not enough jobs. So it's over 30% unemployment for the country, and most of that is in that 18 to sort of 35 bracket. And that's when things go bad. People turn to poaching or crime or etc. When there aren't opportunities available. Mary, we would love to take others. The one thing we learned is when we started the intern program, we took 2 interns. Lucky, came out heads and shoulders above Wasani just with his work ethic and willing to wake up and be on time, which for VM and I is quite an important thing. If you're not on time, I might get a little bit angry, and other issues. And also we realized until we were a bit bigger, we only actually have the capacity for one intern. Lucky is now moving from intern to full-time employee. Hopefully that all goes on. And then eventually, what we would have is Lucky would actually, apart from his normal job and whatnot, once we can afford to pay him a bit more, he would almost sort of take over a lot of the intern stuff. So having come from similar backgrounds and whatnot, he could help the interns sort of feel through, and with the training he's got from VM and myself, he can already teach them basic editing and all that type of stuff. So it doesn't require VM in particular or myself to take a lot of time out to train someone else. So we've got Lucky. I mean, as I said, I cannot sing Lucky's praises enough. That man, his work ethic is just amazing. And for us as a 2-man band, now a 3-man band, we couldn't ask for someone better than Lucky. He just absolutely blows our mind with the amount of effort and time and is willing to work that that he has shown. And unfortunately, Wasani just didn't have that in him. He thought he was Scorsese in a week, unfortunately. But that's one of those things. I think old Wasani thought he was going to be cutting movies within a month, not changing tires and fixing things and washing things, which VM and I do as well. And then so it was interesting. We learned a lot from that. Sketch Cats, thanks very much. But it was great. And well, Lucky is great, and we're very, very lucky to have him. So VM and I are going to go have our dinner. I'm now starting to stress because I haven't got. Oh, VM has sent me the exact message from YouTube, because I haven't heard from these English people, and then they tend to message me at 11 o'clock at night once I'm asleep and expect an answer immediately. Oh, here's the original message from YouTube. Nice work. Your video is really taking off. It has got 4,840% more views than usual in its first 72 hours. You typically receive 1,500 to 2,300 views in this time frame. And at that stage, oh no, we're sitting on 93.3 thousand views. Hey, we might even break 100,000. That will be a record. VM and I even said if we ever break 100,000 views on a video, we're going to go have a Jägermeister. But just one. We're too old to have more than one. And then also, interesting, tomorrow we are off to the Rhino Orphanage early tomorrow morning to film TB testing on one of the orphans. So we're going to be up before the sun is up. So what is Jägermeister? It's spelled with a J. Is it German originally? I think it's German originally. It's a digestif. It's a digestive drink. A Jaeger. I think you just call them Jaegers in the States. Yes. It's quite nice as long as you only have one and not many. Then your head hurts excessively the next morning. Yeah. It's Mr. Hunter, but in German. Yeah, well, Mimi, can one visit the rhinos and pangolins? It depends. Where are you staying? If you're staying at Nkaya and Lawville Manor... No, if you're staying at Nkaya and Lawville Manor House, the pangolins are off limits to everyone. They're very, very sensitive, apart from specific few. They have no pangolins at the moment. The rhinos you can watch through a fence. Yes, no, that Jaeger bomb is horrible. Well, Red Bull is probably quite horrible, more than the Jaeger. But anyway, guys, I'm going to go make Vim and myself some dinner. It's been great catching up. And we really, really appreciate your patronage. It means a lot to us. And honestly, we would not be able to do what we do week in, week out without your support. So much love from a hot and sweaty. What's the time there?
It's 36 past 7.
It's 36 minutes past 7, and it is still 88.1 degrees Fahrenheit. From a hot and sweaty Africa, good night and much love. Mwah! And thank you for your patronage.